Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. That's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on TV, and you can watch it. They got 22 seasons, that's a lot, kid. But you can skip those. We do recaps about the whole show, talking food, yo, and some other stuff. Yeah. You're now listening to Pod Chef, the official podcast of the TV show Top Chef, with your hosts, Jamal, Bryan, and Reaves. And I only said their first names because I don't know everyone's last names, and I'm trying to be polite. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast, and I'm your host, Jamal. I'm here every week, and with me, as always, my co-host, Reaves. Say what's up.
What's up, people? We're here to do the show.
We've done
Big
the
show
attendance. Huge show. This is a gigantic show.
Yeah.
Probably too much to get into in one. It's probably gonna be a two-parter if I know us. It's gonna be
we got to break this up. The thing is, listeners are looking at it, they're like, oh, wait, it's just Jamal and Reaves. Man, settle in, lay down, put the kettle on. You got 3+ hours in a part 1 episode.
Yeah. So if you have a long road trip that you were looking to maybe doze off and kind of hit the guardrail and then come back and be like, oh shit, I was listening to Pod Chef. This is the episode to do that too.
Yeah. And I mean, and this is my whole thing why I'm really the sole reason I'm against automated vehicles. Automated drivers, is that it takes away the fun of you going on a long trip. Yeah. Falling asleep to your favorite podcast and just letting the guardrails guide you to where you need to go.
If I'm driving on a long road that I've never been on and I don't see a line of cars kind of hugging that guardrail, I'm like, what are you guys listening to in your car? Are you guys listening? Are you having fun? Are you having fun on your road trip? Are you listening to a podcast you like?
Are you listening to something that's short and digestible and consistently exciting with lots of segments and bits and guests that keep you going and engaged?
Or are you listening to Serial? What are you doing?
Well, the answer to this is that podcast does not exist.
Yeah.
They're all too long. They are very boring and very unengaging.
Boring.
Yeah.
Nothing kept you going on those other podcasts. But this one, again, this is part 1 of 3 for 1 episode about pizza.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. It's going to be about pizza, and we're going to talk about pizza a lot.
I'm going to specifically speak as if I'm a subject matter expert.
Smee.
A Smee. I'm Schmeagle. I'm a pizza Schmeagle. So get ready for that. And my takes on pizza, guess what? Are the right takes.
Oh, yeah. Because there's a lot of things that come up in this episode that are scandalous about pizzas.
Oh my God.
Pizza preparation.
I about threw a seltzer can at the TV when I was watching this episode. Some of the stuff I was hearing the chef's doing. Putting milk in your dough? That doesn't belong in pizza. You're making pancakes now. Fuck out of here.
There's a lot of big swings. And I mean, how often do we talk about the episode pre-episode review?
Yeah,
I mean, it never happens. But that tells you how exciting the episode was.
Freaking exciting we are for this episode, dog.
And, I mean, should we just jump into Chefs I Prepared for You so we can get to the episode?
Yeah, let's do that. This is a segment we do every week called Chefs I Prepared for You, where we talk about what we had for dinner last night and only last night, and we present it as if we're presenting it to the judges on Top Chef. There will be a winner at the end. We will pick and choose a winner because that's what we're doing now. We get to pick our winners.
Mm-hmm.
We get to choose, the right to choose. All right?
Yeah.
I'll go first, chefs. And this is not because I don't know how this lined up, but chefs, last night I procured for you Mama Lucia's pizza, pepperoni pizza, 18-inch foldable slice,
Damn, dude. Now, how many?
pepperoni, cheese, no sauce,
Yes, of course.
no sauce.
Yeah. And I mean, that's how many times you have to say it when you call because they're like,
Yeah.
what?
Because then they call me and they go, "Excuse me, I just want to make sure that your pizza," and I interrupt them because I know what they're going to say. They call me and say, "Excuse me, we got your order. Just want to make sure that you say yes, no sauce."
And they're like, oh, it's Jamal No
Yeah,
Sauce.
Jamal, no sauce.
Hey, and then you could hear him like yelling to the guys in the back, it's Jamal
Yeah.
No Sauce. Oh,
Why-
Jamal No
yeah.
Sauce.
Well, I actually walk in and they go, "Hey, sans tomat." That's what they call me.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
walk in and they're like, "Hey, sans tomat is here."
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you. I earned that nickname. I'm part of the crew now.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
listen, it's only going to take 5-10 minutes tops to make your pizza.
Yeah.
Because you know how long it takes us to put on that tomato sauce? Forever.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 5-10 minutes itself.
Yeah.
I've revolutionized pizza making. I get my pizzas much faster than anybody else. So yeah, that's why I had a big foldable slice. I was look, I'm just gonna be transparent here. Recovering from a surgery, and boy did I have a massive craving.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I hadn't eaten in a while. And so I said, let me get something big, fat, and juicy. And I said, give me that pepperoni, big old foldable slice.
And I mean, I think it was very thoughtful and maybe a little bit irresponsible of, you know, the nurses at your doctor's office to just roll you over to a pizza joint per your request. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it should be their job at that point to make sure you get a ride home.
Yeah, so that's what they kind of were focused on. They're like, do you have a ride home? And I was like, I just don't understand. The pizza place is so close by to where I live. If you're going to take me to the pizza place, just swing me home afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you worried about the ride that I'm going to have from the pizza place?
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of like backtrack. No, we mean from here to the pizza place. I was like, you're giving me a ride. You're the people who are giving me a ride to the pizza place. This is part of the surgery.
Yeah.
It's part of recovery. Is making sure I get food to recover. Have you ever seen an anime? Whenever the protagonist is weak, they need food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the protagonist here. You didn't have surgery, did you? No, I did.
And you were you're the protagonist. And, you know, this is something for everyone. We're all our own protagonists of our own story. And that's how we should go about life. That's how everyone goes about life now and votes and stuff like that. I think that is, well, one, I think it's really smart that when you sign, you know, you have to sign that agreement, like I have someone that's going to drive me home, and you put yes, and then you put like a little, you know, asterisk in the bottom. We went, yeah, it's going to be you, J off. And you could have just you could have just written Jack off.
Yeah.
But they didn't read.
Nurse I was talking to, name was Jackie Off.
Jackie Off. Yes, I'm Nurse Jackie Off. No, I haven't heard any good jokes lately.
Freaking every day at work for them. But yeah, they gave me a ride home, and then I got pizza. Then I finally talked them into dropping me off by home.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that pizza and I ate it to try and recover. It didn't help because after I ate it, I just went to sleep.
And that's what I was going to ask. Did you sit down and eat it and then immediately close the box and say, now it is night time for me? Or did you get into bed with this? Some people do this. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people get into bed with the slice.
There's nothing weird about that. There's nothing weird about putting on your pajamas, taking the pizza, getting into bed with it, eating it, and kind of just
you pull the covers up and then you pull the pizza up, right? Yeah. So you don't have to get out. You're just kind of head like propped up against the backboard. You got a pizza you just nibble through.
And it's not like I have a terminology for it called like eating like a otter, where I put the pizza box on my belly and I'm
Yeah.
just floating in my seaweed wrapped comforter, and then I just fall asleep like an otter would
Mm-hmm.
on their back in the water. So there's nothing weird about that. That's what you're
No,
supposed to do after surgery, after you're trying to recover. That's how you should eat
it's the
all your
safest
meals.
way. And
Safest way.
also, when you wake up 2-3 hours later in absolute panic, sweating just out of control, because the drugs are like kind of starting to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wear off. You got the pizza there, and that will comfort you back to sleep again.
Yes.
Yes.
Almost like put me back into a sober state also.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need something to kind of like take in all that adrenaline, take in all that anxiety that's coming out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza bread is great for that.
Yeah, some people pull the covers back over them to help them go back to sleep. You can just pull a pizza right into your mouth,
Right into my mouth.
turn over, and just kind of push it in
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Chomp and just go right to sleep. That's the way you do it.
And that's what I did. And so that's why I got Mama Lucia.
Chefs, I prepared for you a cheese with cherry tomato pizza pie.
Wait a second, you had pizza too?
I had pizza too, baby.
Whoa.
No, I didn't make the dough. I didn't make the dough.
You did make the dough.
I'm very scared of making my own dough, mainly because of the time commitment, and also I feel like I'm going to be bad at it.
It's intimidating. It can be.
But I get my dough from Whole Foods because I support Whole Foods in general, and anyone that owns it and runs it, or has owned it or run it in any fashion.
Yeah. We said some scandalous stuff last week.
So I always get the ancient, whatever it is, ancient wheat crust, which just means there's little ancient grain. That's what it is.
Ancient grain.
There's little dots,
yeah.
little dots that you get in there, a little crunch.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, rolled that bad boy out, added some flour to it, no big deal.
You rolled it out. You didn't want to toss it, keep the bubbles in there?
You know what? I lied about that. I did toss it. Like
Okay.
I got my fists. I got
in there.
Walter and I got Cronkite right here, okay?
You gave it the news?
And I gave him the news. Is that someone else's joke, or did we just come up with that?
I think we just came up with it.
Come on. People don't listen to this first part. That is primo stuff. I swear I probably stole that from something. But yeah, no, that's how I do it. And my wife asked me, because my wife wasn't home to watch me do it. But when I'm making pizza, I say, get out of the house. Everyone get out of the house. I don't know what's going to happen in here.
You kick your sous chef out too.
Yeah, get him out.
Get out.
Get him out of here. He goes running. Because, it like might get really smoky. The house might burn down. But I get why people throw it. It does make sense. You get it to a point where it's too stretchy and you can't just like use your other hand to pull it around. You got to just swing it around. So yeah, stretch it out that way. Put on some tomato marinara sauce.
Okay, so you have the sauce.
Oh yeah, I have the sauce. But yeah, so I mean, listen, this is just me putting together a pizza. I'm not making really any piece of it, other than just kind of putting it together and then stretching out the dough.
Yeah, but when you walk into Whole Foods to the pizza section, the bakery, the deli section, they do yell at you, con tomat. So, I mean, you got your nickname, I got mine.
Yeah, nicknames
So
are important.
What else did you have on it?
So I cut up a little bit of cherry tomato, put it on there, because the manager of my house restaurant used to be a very big fan of cherry tomatoes. Mm-hmm. He has since changed. His palate has changed. He's not into them anymore. So he did pick those out. He picked those out.
That menu at your restaurant is always changing.
It's changing. It gets narrower and narrower. And sometimes you think, oh, this is off the menu. It's never coming back. And then magically, you never know. All of a sudden, it's a hit, and it's back, and it's here to stay.
That menu, it changes so often. And I know there's going to come a time where it's going to expand again, but it's like you're in a weird season right now where the menu is like, it's like 2 items are on the menu. It's very you had to reprint all your menus. I know you had to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I made the suggestion. Why not print everything in like with a one of those perforated pages? That way you can just put whatever is actually in season at the at the restaurant. Put those pages in the menu and put the other pages on the side. I'm sure those dishes will come back sometime.
Yeah, just hold on to those. I mean, it is hard. People come in and they're like, "Well, what if I don't like chicken, black beans, or pizza?" And I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you."
Yeah, I don't know if you actually are hungry.
That's actually, and they were like, "What about like pasta?" And I'm like, "Today, no, absolutely not. Come back tomorrow, maybe."
No.
I can't guarantee anything, but today, no.
Today, no.
But so, and then I also had the, again, I just used the pizza cheese they sell, which is just low moisture cheese, which works very well. Put a little oregano on that bad boy, as you do, and it came out great. I was very happy with it.
All right. Well, there we go. Both of us had pizzas. We didn't even know this was a pizza episode.
How would we have known?
We wouldn't have. Well, I feel like I should have gotten a text message from TC, but whatever. Okay, let's do our picking here. As we know the rules, you cannot pick yourself, and if there's a tie, we have to do this again. We cannot pick ourselves. I'm gonna pick Bryan.
Okay, and that is. Whew, this is a tough vote, and I'm gonna pick Bryan too.
Then I think, and if Bryan was here, we know Bryan would probably pick you. So either way,
I'm thinking so.
Either way, I probably wouldn't get picked. So it's kind of like, you want a pizza me? We'll be right back after this.
Ponchap.
All right, Reaves. Look at us, 17 minutes in, ready to talk about the actual episode. They're not going to know, the audience is not going to do it themselves. They're going to see it says, wait a minute, 17 minutes in, they're talking about the episode already? No. Well, Bryan definitely must not be here this week.
Yeah. Well, they're like, wow, they actually gave my thumb a little bit of a break. I don't have to hit the 30 that many times. And to that, I say, you can just skip ahead. It's not, you don't have to do the 30 all the way till you get to the point. And the link will help you too. You can just link all the way.
So you can just link right to it.
But we're here.
We're here. Pod Chef. I don't know which episode we're in Pod Chef, but this is Top Chef Season 22, Episode 7. You want a pizza me? It's a pizza episode. Take us through it, Reaves.
Yes. This is episode 323 overall. Episode 7 in the season. Original air date, April 24th, 2025. We open on the chefs debriefing the elimination of Katiana. They're all very shocked by this. Even Massimo says, I thought she was gonna win it all. Which, like, me too, brother. That was my whole prediction at the beginning of the season. And I think Last Chance Kitchen is showing that she is, and actually this episode is really showing that her elimination was maybe a bit of a one bad cook. Yes, a falsehood in that she might be slowly making her way back into the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan, who I think we can all agree is our front runner here.
Tristan has an energy about him, has a glow, has a confidence. He said, what does he say early on? He tells Vinny, stop trying to flex on who you worked for. Stop flexing the food you actually make. And I was like, freaking Tristan knows what he's supposed to be doing here. He's supposed to be talking about and making food for the restaurant you came from. Like, he says in a kind of polite way, he's like, can I be real with you? Or like, can I be honest with you real fast? And he freaking just hits him with the raw.
Yeah. And it's
feedback.
Like, Vinny is like frozen.
Yeah.
He's so shook by this.
And Vinny then goes on a little message of like, you understand My mentor passed away.
His mentor
Passed away.
It was an interesting
My mentor.
It sounds kind of like, is that Piglet?
Hey, Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear.
Oh, Pooh Bear.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to laugh at someone and
We're not
their
laughing that he
loss.
passed away. It's just, come on, Vinny.
It-
You got to cook your food.
Yeah, it was. He does, and it was interesting because I was like, are they trying to make a connection that he's having difficulty cooking his own food because of his connection to his mentors? I can't really connect the dots there. It was an interesting like segment into his story.
It's like
But-
his identity is his mentor. And like Tristan was like, no, that's not who your identity is. You're you.
mhm.
They had influence on you. Great. Cook you. Stop
Yeah.
cooking as if you're trying to be them.
And you know what? He did that this episode.
He did that, and it looked like he was actually having fun cooking.
He was having
episode.
a blast. He was putting full spears of pickles on his pizza. 4 of them.
And no one called it out.
Yeah, people were like, I
no
guess
one
this
really
is...
said, the fuck is it?
Yeah, I saw that in the picture, and I was like, huh. I mean, I would eat that pickle, but I don't
Yeah.
want that pickle on my pizza. Come on now.
Yeah. I thought maybe dice it up.
Yeah. Put some, little dollops on there, little, coins of them. Okay.
Could you make a pizza with like, the sauce that sometimes goes on top? It was like a pickle sauce for a Reuben. So you can
Oh,
put the
like
pickle on there.
use the actual like pickled juice for the
Yeah.
sauce? Oh man, that'd be pickly.
Might be too salty for the pizza. I don't know.
Think about it. So the next day, the chefs go into the Top Chef kitchen and they are met by Top Chef Canada, not Top Chef Destination Canada. Well, actually, let me pull back. They are
Mhm.
met by Top Chef Canada host Eden and met also by Top Chef Destination Canada host Kristen.
There we go.
Yeah. And Kristen's all
Blame
like,
Canada.
yeah, she's like, wait, I invited her here to kind of like rub it in her face,
She
Just-
was right up the street, so it was convenient.
Yeah, she's like, hey, she's just here, so we're gonna let her pop her head in, just kind of let her see what it's like to be on like the big times, to make
Yeah.
it to like the big stage, the real
big
Top Chef.
Yeah. I think there's a B-roll of her being like, so does Top Chef Canada have like a kitchen that's this big? No. Like, doesn't even wait for her to answer, just says no at the end of the sentence. No?
no.
Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess we just built this in Canada
Yeah.
for us, and after it's
weird.
done, she's like, can we use it for Top Chef Canada after you guys leave? And she's like, no, we have to destroy it.
No, because this is big Top Chef.
Yeah,
so
it's a
belongs
little
to
too big for you guys. I
We
don't
actually-
know.
Not sure how you'd fill the space.
Yeah, you guys like wouldn't be able to fill the space, and I mean, like, I don't want to say this, but like, I don't
Yeah.
think you guys could like afford it.
Yeah. We also do this with Last Chance Kitchen is also here, so it's kind of like Tom's other recording studios. So, do you have a episode after the episode? You don't.
You don't. Okay, all right. Well, then we're just
so you
gonna
probably can't use it. Yeah,
we're just gonna
we're probably
destroy
gonna
this.
destroy this. Pull this whole. It's gonna be like Burning Man when we leave. We're just gonna pull this whole thing down.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the clip of the quick fire.
Eden, I don't know about the Top Chef Canada kitchen, but these chefs really know how to generate a lot of dirty dishes. Chefs, for your quickfire challenge, our friends at Finish Ultimate have identified and can clean the 10 toughest stains in America. Yeah, which you can see represented right here. You'll each be using these stains as inspiration for your dishes. Cool. Nice. But your only clue to what you might be working with was left behind on these dishes. You can come on up and grab one.
It's a commercial for the dishwashing detergent that I use. I was so happy to see myself represented in this episode because Finish really does get your dishes clean.
It finishes your dishes, and I agree. Like, if I'm going to use a detergent, and I hope one day to be able to afford Finish, I would use Finish detergent because it's
Right.
the one that always finishes the job.
Exactly. Finish. It's like the Apple iPhones of detergents. You don't want to have that green box, do you? Looking at you. The other one.
Um,
What is the other one called? Cascade.
Cascade.
Looking at you, Cascade.
Here's some fun facts about Finish. You don't have to wear gloves when you use it. Your hands won't get dry. It has a natural hand lotion built in it.
Here's another fun fact about Finish. It's got a red dot in it. What does it have in that red dot? I don't know, but that's the thing that we narrowed down as being the key ingredient to getting your dishes finished.
Here's another fun fact about Finish. Add it to a drink. It'll make you feel good.
Do you not have any sunblock or sunscreen when you're going to the beach? Don't worry. Pop open a pack of Finish and spread that across your skin. It'll create a nice UV protective layer for at least 60 minutes.
Sick? Have a cold? Down with the flu for the past 6 weeks? Inject some Finish into your skin. It'll finish the job in one way or another.
Are you taking a vacation soon? Do you need someone to look after the house? Hire Finish babysitters. Just put the box on the counter and it'll watch over your priceless possessions while you're gone.
Has this been you before? Order a package from Amazon, have it stolen 7 times in a row?
Oh, no.
Allow Finish to finish the job and murder whoever has been stealing your Amazon packages. So Finish is great. We fully support it, and this is an ad.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So let's go through what these disgusting, dirty dishes are. That they have to like stick their faces in and smell to figure out what they are. We have tomato sauce, meat sauce, coffee. I mean, a lot of these, it's like a dead giveaway what they are. There isn't really much of a guess here. Pretty much everyone can get theirs. We got guacamole, mac and cheese, oatmeal, eggs, rice, lasagna. Everyone knows what theirs are.
We've all seen dirty dishes.
Yeah. I see dirty dishes every day.
Freaking every day. Sometimes twice.
Every day. You know what? Every time I eat, I turn around, there's a dirty dish.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Did I see you somewhere? Haven't we met before?
I've seen you before.
Anyways, you look terrible.
Again.
Get your shit together. Are you finished?
Gotta get some Finish in here. And yes, I use the same plate every day.
Yeah. I'm a man in America.
Only need that one plate.
Yeah.
Live with that bachelor life.
Don't understand going to people's houses. They got like 7 different plates. Why? There's not 7 people here.
You washing all these every night? I don't think so.
Louise.
So the chefs start cooking, and Kristen just waltzes over to the dishwasher. She's like, I gotta wash some of these dishes. Some of these over here no one's using anymore. She's just like, pops in her earbuds. She's like, all right, no one bother me. I'm gonna do some dishes.
Start scrubbing. The chefs start working.
They start working hard. So, everyone has to kind of redesign their dishes the best they can. There's some of the ones here are impossible for them to do in whatever. I think it's like, 30 minutes that they have. Like Paula.
Coffee and salmon. Cesar.
Okay, let's talk about it. On the bottom here, Cesar, who I like a lot. I feel like he is a needed personality and chef type for this season because he takes risks. He does cool stuff. But the other side of it is you take risks and you do things like coffee and salmon. And they, in the nicest way possible, said it wasn't a good pairing.
Yeah. Which means it fucking sucked. Gross.
I'll have a cafe mocha carrier, a little latte in there. And then if you could add some salmon, just dice up some salmon and throw in there, that would be great.
Yeah. Can I have a blonde roast with halibut? You're out of the halibut?
You're out of it? They did say A+ for creativity, which I feel like is the caveat to everything Cesar does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Can't knock you for
there.
the creativity.
Yeah,
You win for
there.
it. Which he does.
Anyone who's scoring bonus points, almost like whose line is it anyway? It's Cesar for his choice of cooking combos.
You know what's fucked up about that show? We never saw the points.
Yeah, we never saw the points.
You know, they're out here investigating some of these other game shows to make sure there's no flaws in any of their, they were showing them where the hidden immunity idol was, blah, 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 blah. Well, what we're looking at freaking whose line is it anyway? We should be looking at Drew.
Yeah, spin-off podcast idea. We go back and watch Whose Line Is It Anyway and actually do the point totals.
Oh my gosh. It would take one episode for me to jump off a bridge. So also in the bottom here, we got Paola, who she had poor Paola. She had lasagna. You can't do lasagna in that amount of time.
No.
It was falling apart. And then Bailey, who had guacamole, and it didn't feel like that. It just felt like avocado.
Should have just made guacamole.
Yeah, come on. You give the people what they want.
Just do it. I think they overthought this a little bit. They're like, well, I can't just do the same dish. Yeah, you can. Just make it your own. Find one way to make it your own. Serve it.
I think it is hard because they've done similar quick fires like this, but the guidance very much has been don't do the same thing. Remix it or imagine it. But I feel like this is one where it's like pretty much do what the dish is, but just like put a little spin on it.
Yeah, because we don't know what the guacamole looked like.
No, that's a good point.
We don't know what was in it. We don't know if it was spicy. We don't know if it was sweet. We have no idea. We don't know if it was savory. Like, what if they made a savory guacamole? I don't know. I had a guacamole recently that had a char all the way around the outside of it.
What the hell? Char?
Yeah, like an onion char on the outside of it. So it was black. And as soon as you dipped your chip into it, there's the green.
Whoa. Wait a second.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen this. Was I with you when that happened?
No, this was at a restaurant that's on the best 100 restaurants of Washington, D.C.'s list.
Hell yeah.
With 100, it's like ranked number 3 at Pasquale.
Okay.
In
Haven't been
Northeast.
there yet.
And yeah, they have a good guac.
Damn.
But they're doing something different with their guac.
Good for them. See, but that's your point. Like you can do something different, and but you're still like, I'm getting guac.
Yeah.
So on top here we got our boy Massimo. He did gnocchi, which was pretty impressive to put together in that amount of time. We have Henry.
He kept walking around being like, I'm doing it all for the gnocchi. Come on, the gnocchi. Come on. So I'm gonna put this pasta and put it on my plate.
He definitely looks like he was a fan of Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah.
Also on top we got Henry, who
Henri.
Thierry Henry. Well, we don't have to say his name wrong anymore. He got eliminated. Full on eliminated too.
Yeah.
He did what's it called? A mochi ball. And then Tristan, our guy Tristan, who did some yellow rice. And he's stuck to the tone, the rice.
Mm-hmm.
Very hard to cook rice well. And, those are the type of things that people like Kristen and Tom look for. And he's very consistent with, his technique. Rice was cooked perfectly.
Well, he was also making jollof rice.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is like, okay, that's tough to do on its own in a regular time, not being under the pressure of like a time constraint. So it's like, how talented is Tristan?
Listen, I don't want to put him over too much, but I'm like, what can't he do?
Yeah, because so far he's been winning a bunch of challenges that he says he hates.
Yeah.
Like, I hate cooking this kind of stuff.
He's like, I actually don't like pista. I tried to make this dish into things that I don't like at all and that I hate.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I'm terrified to find out if you get to a point where they just say, cook whatever you want.
Yeah, I know.
You actually start putting like true passion into cooking. Is this going to even be a competition at all?
I know. He's just fucking around at this point. It's just a laugh for him.
Yeah.
So our winner here, and it's the last time he'll hear this, Henry, for his poor Henry.
First time, last time.
But I'm glad he got this. He got 10K. For his oatmeal. What is it? It's like a mochi ball, rice balls with maple butter. It looked delicious. It was like this ball and like oatmeal broth. I think it's what it was. And Kristen noted it. It's like as soon as she sliced into it, just kind of like melted apart, which is really cool.
Yep.
So let's get to the meat of the episode, our elimination challenge. It's
Should
a
I play
pizza
the
party,
clip?
baby.
Yeah.
Please,
Should I play the
please.
clip of these two names.
Yes.
Hi, chefs. How are ya?
How are you? Wow, Wiley Dufresne was one of the founders of molecular gastronomy and modern cuisine. And then Chef Spike Mendelsohn was a beast in his seasons of Top Chef.
It's nice to be back.
So one of them was a massive influence on an entire genre of cooking. The other one was on Top Chef.
It is, we love to drag our friend Spike
Because he won't come on the podcast.
because he won't come on the podcast and he's a local boy.
Mm-hmm.
Any opportunity we get, we bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
We drag him.
Yeah.
We drag him around town because it's our town, not his town.
Yeah. It's our town.
But it is kind of embarrassing how enthusiastic everyone is to hear about Wiley Dufresne. And then they mention Spike and they're like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
You have
And
a
who's
pizza
that?
chain in D.C.? We the pizza? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. He won? No, he didn't win. Okay.
He didn't win.
Did he make it to the No, he didn't. Okay.
No, he didn't. He was in 2 seasons?
2. He lost both times.
Okay. Interesting.
Now,
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
I teased maybe 2 years ago now
Mm-hmm.
a Spike story.
Yeah, you did.
And what better time than now? It's not really much of a story, but to talk about a Spike incident.
Mm-hmm.
Because as Jamal and I said, he seems to think this is his city, DC. And I'm not talking about Destination Canada. He does have many restaurants or a couple different chains here, one of which is the Good Stuff Eatery in Georgetown. I went on a trip there. It's not very far. I'm not going to tell you how far it is from where I live because I don't want any of the freaks showing up at my house.
Yeah.
But me and my family went there because we were like, we were in Georgetown. And we're like, hey, let's check out one of Spike's places. He won't stop talking about him. He thinks he runs this city. Let's
As
check
you
it
do.
out. We walk in. First thing we are met with is a massive picture of him on the wall. I
Oil
cannot.
painting.
Was it a painting? Is that what you said?
Was it an oil painting?
It was a self-portrait. Yeah, oil
Okay.
painting. Massive. Couldn't be bigger of Spike
Mhm.
on the wall.
Humble.
Stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the cashier to order my dish. I got the President Burger, which of course is based off of President Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Got
It
your
was a black bean burger.
it's bacon, onion, cheese, and horseradish. It's very good. I enjoyed it. Now I don't know if he has since changed it because things
Because
have
Obama's changed.
things have changed. Obama's changed. He's a Netflix man now.
Yeah.
I haven't been back there since the changes, as I will say.
Right.
But as I was ordering with the cashier, I was like, does Spike ever come in and chat with you? And he said, And I repeated myself. I was, does your boss, the guy that created and owns this place, Spike, do you guys ever meet him? Does he come in? And he went, I don't know who you're talking about.
And you checked and you looked in both of their ears and like, okay, they don't have a hearing aid. So it wasn't like they said, as in like they couldn't hear you.
Mm-mm. They heard me loud and clear. And then I kind of leaned to the side to showcase the massive portrait of himself on the wall.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of like pointed and said, that guy. Have you? And then he looked at me. I kind of thought like, okay, I'll just say that guy. And then he'll say like, oh yeah, he comes in all the
Spike.
time.
Yeah.
He eats a lot of the ingredients.
We call him Fedora.
Oh,
know who you
Mr.
meant.
Fedora. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He owns this place. So yeah, I pointed to him. I was like, that guy. And then again, the cashier looked at me and just kind of shook his head like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, that guy's the guy that owns this place. This is Spike.
Yeah.
He owns. And the guy just kind of was like, I don't know what you want from me, man. I don't know who that is. I've never really looked at that picture before.
I'm starting to understand why people like to put big pictures of themselves up in a place.
Well, and I bring this up 2 years after it happened to say, Spike, the picture's not working well enough.
Yeah.
For me, it worked. It was a good reminder. For his employees, something
Not good.
else has to be done.
Put your name on their checks. Put your name on their ID cards. You
Yes.
gotta put your face on there so they're like, who is this fucking guy? He's everywhere. I can't escape him. Put your name all over their shirts like a Louis Vuitton logo. Just put it all over the shirt so they know. Oh, this guy? Yeah, he owns the place.
Oh, yeah, that guy. That's what he looks like. So, the elimination challenge here, and this was a learning moment for me, and a nod to Hawaiian pizza and sushi pizza, which are both Canadian inventions.
Hey, I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
I can tell you where I thought sushi pizza might have been invented. I'm not going to. It's offensive, but I can tell you it wouldn't be Canada.
I really thought you had a joke prepared for it. I was like, all right, I'll give you space, but it's good. And this is where comedy is now. It's like let the audience put it
Do
together.
the joke. Yeah.
Because if there's one thing we know about entertainment right now, it's like it's all about not
Talking at
helping the audience.
Yeah.
It's not like fucking spoon feeding things to people because they're too stupid to figure anything out. It's being very subtle, allowing the audience to, interpret
Fill
the
in that
art
gap.
however they want to. Oh yeah. Lots of that around right now. So they're tasked with making their own unconventional pizzas. And the winner, and this is important, receives the last immunity of the season.
Dun dun dun.
So the chefs go to pick out their ingredients. The important thing that happens here, Henry, our friend Henry. Oh, sweet Henry.
Oh, sweet Henry.
Oh, Henry. Oh, no, Henry.
He got captivated by an idea.
He got so excited by an idea that he went thousands of dollars over budget.
Yeah.
And it confused him so much that he's asking the cashier. Again, I run into this situation too. You can't rely on the cashier to help you navigate any kind of situation.
They want to get you out of their face as fast as possible. They'll say anything.
Don't ask them questions. And he's asked him, he's like, did I give you flour? And she's like, yeah, you gave me flour.
Yeah, you gave me 6 of them.
I think
flour.
I put like 7, 8, maybe 10 bags in there. He's like, that's fine. Okay, then I'll keep the basil. The dude's only got 1 bag of flour.
When they do the tragic look back of the flour sitting on the bottom of the cart, and it's just like, oh, come on, dog. It's a pizza challenge. If there's one thing you cannot afford to lose, it's the base ingredient.
You can't have not enough flour. It's like a very slow zoom on the flour. The flour kind of tips over and starts
As he's
slowly
talking.
dripping out
Yeah. Flour
on the floor.
Dropping on the floor like little powder circles and stuff. Just every time it drops, it's almost like a big earthquake sound.
The chefs get back to the kitchen and they get doughing.
Oh, so I want to say something about this challenge.
Please.
Because they said, you got to make unconventional pizzas, different styles. This is an episode where I fully believe I could have competed toe to toe with every single chef in this show to make a pizza, and I think I would have made a very tasty pizza because I know what I would have made. I made I didn't make it, but it was almost in the process of like a mad scientist with my friend Sean. We were making pizzas on his uni pizza oven. They had leftover green chutney and samosas. And so we broke apart the samosas. They took my Wisconsin brick cheese, put it on pizza, put the green chutney on there, and parts of the samosa, and made it in like very thin sliced onions, and made an Indian food pizza. To this day, it's blown my mind how tasty it was.
Damn, dude.
That's what I would have made for this episode. An Indian food pizza with green chutney and samosa.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I've had some chutney, different kinds of chutney on pizza. It works.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. A little bang of flavor.
I think not only would I have been able to compete, I probably would have been able to, because I accurately predicted some of the stuff that the chefs were doing. I was like, you're going to fuck up your pizza dough.
Yeah.
And they did.
So I thought about you specifically when they were doing their doughing, and Henry. So to tell you, if you don't have enough flour, what's happening? You basically just don't have enough volume.
Well, you don't have enough volume, but also you have to use so much extra flour to play with the dough and spread it out. So it's not just about having enough flour to make the pizzas. You then need play around dough.
Yeah.
To like put on the boards, to roll the dough around, to knead the dough, to like put the pizza, to put on the peel. Like you need all this extra fucking flour. It's like you're buying one bag of flour just for the pizzas, and then another bag just so you have enough sand for your sand castle you're gonna be making. So, yeah, not having enough flour is like you're stuck because you can't play with the dough by itself anywhere else. You need flour.
Yeah.
You need, and if you put too much semolina or stuff, what happens later in the episode? Someone Spike says, "Oh, it just feels like it's manufactured one of those chain pizzas." Yeah, that's what happens when you use what were they using? Cornstarch or whatever.
Yeah.
Underneath the to keep it off the peel. Yeah, if you use too much, it does feel like it's one of those chain pizzas. So, and you're using an uni, so you really just want to use flour anyways. But some of these I knew that wasn't going to go right because one, what was her name? Who added Paula. So Paula added milk to her dough, and I instantaneously was like, "Oh no,
Oh no.
oh
Paula.
no," because
Oh,
you've now
no.
introduced so much more fat and so much more like you've introduced fat and more hydration than you otherwise would with just the water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take longer for that moisture to leave the dough. You know, there's milk proteins, there's fat, there's butter in milk. That's all now in the dough. You've changed the complete structure of the dough, and it's not going to cook the same way. And you saw what happened when she was cooking them. They weren't cooking all the way through, and that's what. And people were like, the dough was raw. Yeah, because it can't get the moisture out.
Mm. Now, when you saw the cocoa that Cesar was using,
I immediately said, "You're going to dry the shit out of that pizza." That's like putting flour, like the recipe calls for flour, and then you go, "I'm just going to add a little more flour."
yeah.
You're just drying out your dough.
Wiley Dufresne did note that he was like, they tried using cocoa with donuts and they just burned the shit out of their donuts.
So what he should have done is got like a chocolate flavoring instead of cocoa powder.
Oh, yeah.
Should have got like one of those like little extracts. If you wanted to put chocolate cocoa extract, a couple drops in, that will get that flavor in. It won't change. Like I know you're going for that color, but it won't change the color. But it'll get the chocolate flavor for the mole sauce in there.
Yeah.
So that's what you should have done.
Because that's ultimately what he was going for. I think it was the cocoa powder was serving two purposes. It was for the mole, like the actual flavor, but I think he was looking for a different color to make it look interesting. But and it
these are things you know.
Pizza.
These are things you figure out from making a lot of pizzas, and this is what I'm saying. Vinny says something in this episode, which is why I was like, "Oh, he's probably going to do well." He says while he's prepping, he's like, "Oh, it just feels like a day out because I make pizza all the time on my days off." And I'm like, "Oh, well, then you're gonna be good," because half the battle of making pizza is muscle memory. If you understand like working with the dough and like getting on the peel and off the peel and what you have to do, you're so far ahead of someone who's just trying to like start that Saturday and try and keep up with you. They're not going to be able to because they don't have the muscle memory of like, oh, I know what's going to work and what's not going to work. all the other chefs who like aren't used to handling pizza, they had all of the like noob things that happen to you of failing in making pizza, sticking to the peel, sticking to the stone, like not understanding they got to rotate the pizza. Because I saw one of the pizzas was like burnt to hell on one side,
Yeah.
which means the pizza was not rotated.
Gotta rotate that bad boy. Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you only learn by messing up though.
Yeah.
So like Vinny knows how to do this because he's probably messed up a bunch of pizzas.
And he knows because, speaking of muscle memory, his beefcake short king brother apparently cooks a lot of pizzas and came up with the whole idea of a Reuben pizza, which is what Vinny does. But muscly guy, muscle memory, it must work. And it does
must work.
Because Vinny does pretty well. He makes the top.
This is why I think I could have competed in this episode. So I'm like, well, I make pizza often enough. I bet they're not making it as frequently as I am.
Yeah. Because, I mean, and man, we're talking about the food, though. The dough, I mean, you're getting into the baking part of it. And it's that is like baking. I mean, cooking in general is muscle memory, but like baking especially, you're not going to get it right the first time. You have to do those kinds of things, whatever it is, multiple times over and over again, and then you kind of get it.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people are eating shit. They do force the chefs to go to Niagara Falls. Now, here's what I want to talk about with this. My wife and I were talking about the show, as we do. And she mentioned that this season feels a little flat, like a little boring. And I would agree to some degree. I think we have some interesting chefs here, but I feel like it has looked the same often. Like we don't see them out enough because so much of it is the cooking, which is great, but you need a little bit of, it's so much of them in the Top Chef kitchen or a restaurant kitchen.
Yeah.
And we need to see them out in the world.
That's because they're spending so much of that in between time, the B-roll of them getting all the talking while they're cooking shots.
Yeah.
When take those out. Take me to what are y'all talking about when you're back at home? What are y'all talking about when you go out to, like, show me that part of the episode.
Yeah. Give us a little bit more of the outside of the kitchen, so it feels different. And that's why I bring it up with the Niagara Falls, which they make them get into a boat and drive into the actual waterfall and almost kill everyone.
Soaked.
Some people seem very open to the whole idea of death, like Massimo seems very ready for it, but other people are upset about it. But that kind of gives us some variance, and I'm like, oh well, now I remember it as the Pizza Niagara Falls episode versus all the other ones. I'm like, they all kind of look the same to me.
That's what we need. We need like take them to a batting cage, take them to go-karts, take them to do stuff so we can tie the episode to a human experience.
Yeah,
not just them running through Whole Foods.
Yeah, let's see like Paula and Tristan sit down and talk shit about Massimo. Come on, let's just, we get a producer in there to be like, hey, you guys just shoot the shit. And if you guys want to if you want to rag on Massimo, you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. There's no cameras in here. Wank.
You can say whatever you want in here, okay? Well, yeah, there's no cameras. You guys just relax. Let your hair down. You say whatever you want, okay, about Massimo. Because we got a whole episode that we're going to do about our friend Massimo, okay? We're going to make sure he gets his, okay? We're going to bury his ass. Okay, the next day, the chefs go into the restaurant. This is in a winery, so they got to cook for a bunch of judges. 70 freaks are going to show up.
Can I play a clip of some of the some of the freaks sound like when they show up?
Please.
Listen to this.
Some wine-friendly pizza.
Caesar or Henry's? I think it's going to be very unique. It's Top Chef.
It's not really inspired.
You better bring your best damn pizza. Yeah.
It's Top Chef. You better bring your best damn pizza. They're not pizza chefs.
No.
So they might not be their best damn pizzas.
Hey, Jamal, it's not Top Pizza. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Top Chef.
It's Top Chef.
But now that I'm thinking about it, Top Pizza,
Good idea.
Not a bad idea.
Good idea.
Top
All the
pizza.
different pizzas. All the
Chicago.
different pizzas you can make.
Top pizza. New York.
Mhm.
Top pizza. Napoli.
All stars.
Yeah. So, Shuai, do we want to hear from Shuai?
About his mise en place?
He has a lot of toppings, so let's hear about him.
Let's hear it.
I like a charred pineapple relish. I have my lamb going in the pressure cooker. So now I just have to do all the knife work for the tiger salad, which is cutting all the cabbages, celery, scallion, radicchio. My right arm's gonna be so diesel. And cucumbers. Why did I pick the smallest cucumber ever?
They're cute.
Oh, so many things in a salad. Woo! Dunzo. 1 hour left.
Oh, man. The sound editing on that, mwah, perfect.
Mwah.
I loved it. They just the little music underneath. That was very nice. Bailey is doing a chicken parm pizza. And she's like, I don't have time to slice up my garlic like it's Goodfellas. Which we've all seen Goodfellas. We know that of course, means that you murder a guy for mocking you and you eat a late night dinner at your friend's mom's house.
Yeah.
And that's what Goodfellas eating garlic is.
It's called slicing up some garlic.
Mm-hmm. So Henry, our friend Henry, in his whole dough fiasco, has to pivot. His dough is fucked. It's completely fucked. And we all know it. Jamal knew it. We all knew it was going to happen. And so what do you do when your dough for your pizza is fucked? You say, I'm going to use rice instead. I'm going to pivot for rice. And I mean, to be fair to him, he knows he's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that he is in a bad situation. He knows this isn't ideal. I felt this very hard. There was a clip of him over a very hot cast iron skillet with his rice, and he had a spatula just digging in hard.
And
I'm like,
oh man,
brother, I've been there, trying to get that off that skillet. Oh man, yeah, he's in the weeds. The bad part about that is maybe one side of that rice was crispy, but the other side was not. So it just ends up being a little rice bowl, and that does not make Tom happy.
That is not what Tom wanted. He wanted pizza.
Yeah. And, Spike in, his lone crusade says, hey, I thought it was good. I mean, it might not have been pizza, but it was a good rice bowl. And Tom's like, but it's not pizza. I did not ask for a rice bowl. I asked for a pizza pie, and he did not give me a pizza pie.
I think Tom also said, is your restaurant called We the Rice Bowl? Or is it called We the Pizza? He was like, okay, Tom. He's like, no, answer the question. Is it called We the Rice Bowl? No? Okay, then. Right. And you don't serve rice bowls, right? Well, then I want my pizza. He got real belligerent.
Yeah. And then Kristen even backed him up. She's like, and how many Top Chef rings do you have? She kind of Shaquille'd him. Shaquille to her. He was the Chuck to hit her Shaquille. How many rings do you have? So that's so funny. I have one. I
Spike
probably
tried to come back and be like, I don't know. Let me ask Padma how many rings she got.
So, I do want to note this because I talked about pizza last week. All of these pizzas have been sliced, which is very nice.
Yeah.
And I talked about how I was embarrassed by an Italian waiter at the Vatican. Bad timing. Where they did not slice my pizza.
Do we want to talk about that?
It was not.
Do we want to talk about that?
Wait, maybe we should say that.
Some stuff has happened since we talked about the Vatican that I don't know if it's tied to us or not.
It's not. It's just weird timing. And yes, we were very shocked about it. And yes, lots of people have reached out to me about it. The 4 people that listen to the show. We don't need to talk about it. It's just a weird coincidence.
All right.
But they did slice their pizza, and it did make me think of my incident in the Vatican. Nothing to do with the Pope, though. let's real quickly. I know I said I would never talk about the dishes, but on this episode, we're gonna do it. Vinny, Reuben pizza. Paola did a Argentinian pizza, which is pineapple, braised pork, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Massimo did a pizza with potatoes, mussels, clams, very
Seafood and cheese, folks.
seafood. Who knew? Apparently,
And it worked.
and yeah, they do that in Italy. Tristan, our friend Tristan, did pizza with lamb, anchovy ranch, pickled grapes. Feelings on ranch dips for pizza?
I hate ranch in general, so yeah. Sorry to break that to you. I just had to rip that Band-Aid off. I hate ranch dressing, so I'm never gonna dip the crust or anything and put ranch on it.
So I know that some listeners may be very upset by that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my life or choice.
Yeah.
As someone that was raised on ranch.
Yeah.
But I respect your decision. I don't like it.
Thank you.
I get it.
Thank you.
I get it.
Thank you for your tolerance.
And this is healing, and this is how relations work.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey, again, she did a chicken parm pizza. Henry, of course, fucked up a pho rice pizza with. He tried to do a whole pho thing, and it all just fell apart. It didn't even have like the flavors of pho. Lana did a honey nut squash pizza. Shuai, of course, he went over his millions ingredients of a salad pizza, but he did a scallion pancake, which is very cool. And then we talked about Cesar's mole pizza with chicken thighs and black bean salsa. One small note.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kristen's a great host. I do not think what I'm about to say is her fault. But the questions, banter by the judges are in between dishes are about thoughts on pineapple on pizza, thoughts on deep dish pizza, which are a little fucking basic for me. I say this, listen, I think she's doing a great job, and I say this because I think she is capable of better than this.
I think so too. I am going to have Christian's back because Padma did not make jokes. Didn't attempt to make jokes.
True.
Didn't attempt to push the conversation. I don't remember times when we go to the judges' table where they're eating and Padma's pushing the conversation.
Yeah.
Usually a lot of clips with Tom attempting to be funny.
Yeah.
Padma's
so I
usually
appreciate
just
the
chewing. Effort. Yeah, I
This
appreciate
guy.
the effort.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the difference is between Padma and Kristen. Kristen's trying to jump in there.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah, I would agree. As of right now, I think she's still getting her bearings.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would be very curious, to your point, to see an unedited judge's meal of Padma as a host and Kristen as a host.
Yeah,
because I think you're right. I think Padma is just kind of like munching, and Tom's maybe the one that's trying to do a song and dance. And with Kristen, I feel like she's trying to be like, I am the host. I am like leading this table. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to push conversation forward, trying to add some color commentary. I don't think we get that same amount if we have an unedited reel of Padma at the table.
And listen,
I think it's like a more of a. I don't even think they're talking about the meal. I think they're going to be talking about like this new stylish thing that's happening in the world. I don't think they're even talking about the show.
We've all been there too, where you're facilitating some meeting or something like that, and it's just like you start throwing around jokes or comments that later you're like, oh my God, why? Something in me died. But you cater to your audience, so maybe that's the kind of stuff that they would want. Last comment on that, to people that hate pineapple pizza, which I think is good, I have no problem with. If you think that is that or deep dish are terrible pizzas, you have not tried St. Louis style pizza.
And I don't want to.
I mentioned it on the podcast, and
I don't want to.
This is not an exaggeration. It is provolone cheese on a fucking cracker, and they call it a pizza. That is a bad pizza.
How dare they? How dare they? This is St. Louis, Missouri.
You betcha.
I tell you, that state's backwards, though.
That's why I don't like that state. Okay, judges table. We already kind of talked about it, but on top we have Vinny, Tristan, and Shuai.
Let's get to the joke of the week.
Oh, yes,
speaking of
please.
Kristen.
Chefs, we asked you to put on a Top Chef pizza party. Tom, you think they delivered?
That's pretty funny.
An attempt. There we go.
She is funny.
Yeah.
Like she definitely came up with that herself. Which is not bad. It's not a bad joke.
Yeah. I feel like the writers, like, they saw that and like, why the fuck didn't we think of that?
Holy shit.
Why didn't no one came up with that joke?
Who wrote it? Like a bunch of writers are like just scrambling, like looking at
through the script.
Yeah.
Like, who wrote that? Who gave her that? No
Just
one?
see a bunch
She
of
just
papers
improvised that?
flying
Oh
up
my
in a
God,
huddle.
We're gonna lose our job.
Oh my God. I already got look over my shoulder at the fucking robots. I got Kristen over here coming up with that delivery line. Fuck me, man.
It's not a stable industry, dog.
She's gonna put me out in the street. Yeah, so another fun fact about Tristan's his dough, he used beer for I guess part of like the yeast.
Yeah, which is very good. I mean, it has enough to feed the yeast continuously. It has enough sugar in it and enough, fermentation already built in the beer that it's just good. So the only issue you can have with that is that it might turn sour very quickly. So you got to use it quickly. But beer's good for making a dough. It's going to have just massive flavor in the dough.
Well, it worked out for him because Tristan gets his third immunity win.
Three-peat.
He's riding high, man. Unless if he was to not make the final, not to make the finale, it would be the biggest upset in Top Chef history.
Because he technically hasn't needed to be winning these finals.
No.
And couldn't be eliminated. But
He
still has been.
Yeah. He could just coast if he wanted to, but he's fucking crushing it. So
Freaking flexing like he told Vinny to do.
yeah, he said, "Vinny, flex like your short king brother. You're a very strong brother." On the bottom here, Henry, Cesar, and Paola. We already kind of hit on what was going on with all three of them. Ultimately, and this is very funny considering what happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
Henry is eliminated.
Henry, please pack your knives and go.
We'll see you in Last Chance Kitchen, Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
I did a pizza
We'll see you
challenge
very
with no
briefly
real
on
pizza.
Last Chance Kitchen.
It finally happened.
Oh.
I'm going home because I didn't make what I wanted to make, and I was cooking to survive. I'll be back.
Yes.
That's the attitude.
I've never challenged myself in this kind of way before. Top Chef pushed me to my absolute limit, but I don't give up. Just because something's hard doesn't mean I'm gonna stop.
That's a good lesson for life. Just because something's hard doesn't mean you should stop. You should maybe take a break, but you shouldn't stop.
Yeah, you shouldn't stop unless you keep losing at it, and then maybe find something else to
Then
do.
maybe find something else to do.
Yeah.
But don't just stop immediately.
Last chance chicken here. So it's Katiana versus Henry. They're given 30 minutes to make a dish using freshly made dough. Henry immediately is like, "I'm making wontons." I was like, "Smart move." And then he's like, "I used to do this all the time. Easy peasy." He fucks up by using the water that he uses to boil the wontons. He makes a broth with I think he calls it like a sour broth. Tom's not a fan.
Boy.
Katiana does like a pot pie chowder thing with it has like a dough crumble and like a crust thing. She wins. She's doing well. You really got to think about that. She went out last week. It was between her and Henry. And it feels like she just had one bad cook. and that
Yeah.
she's one of the best people there, and she just kind of had one bad one.
Like they say, the ball don't lie. She just went up against Henry. They said, Henry, I hope you didn't like unpack. I hope you packed up and like are ready to catch your flight home because it's coming, boy.
She's like, Henry, did you bring your bag with you?
Oof. He was like, why would I need that?
Oof.
Oh, Henry, that's a mistake. You're not going to catch your connecting flight.
This is like on Survivor when people go to travel and they didn't bring their bag. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
You're feeling too confident.
I knew it was bad. I knew it was going to be bad because Katyan is coming out dancing and crip walking to Not Like Us from Kendrick Lamar. So I was like, she's not fucking around.
And in Canada doing that. Wow.
In Canada. So I'm like, okay, she's picked a side and she's not fucking around. So just be careful. You're going to Last Chance Kitchen. There's a monster waiting for you.
Yeah. And it's only a matter of time before she gets back in.
All right.
Next week's the big one. We go to
week's the
war.
big one.
Restaurant wars, baby.
Restaurant wars. Next week. It's going to be a good one. Bryan will probably be back. We forgot to see if Bryan was even on the mic. We didn't even look. I guess we'll do it next time. So we'll pack our knives and go.
This was fun. Absolutely. This is great, guys. You guys got something here. This is fun.
Nice. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. And, y'all got a new fan. I love it. Love hearing you guys' commentary. So.
Okay, you might make the outro with that.
Yeah, clip it.